Welcome back, my Jedi friends. Today we ask the question, what is grounding? Now, I know I talk about this a lot, and I had a very interesting message from Tammy. This one's for you, Tammy, asking me, what is grounding? Is it playing in the background or the backyard in the dirt? Is it hugging trees? Like, and I realize I talk about this concept of grounding in healing, which is fundamental. It's fundamental. So let me explain it in detail because I realize that there's some of you out there that maybe don't quite get it. So grounding when using energy, when doing energy work, is a bit like grounding in the electrical circuits of a house. Now, if your house isn't grounded, people are going to get burned. They're going to get burned, folks. So things are going to go wrong. Grounds the energy. It's unsafe if you're not grounded. And it's the same when working with energy. So that's the very simple version. It is absolutely fundamental. Healing without grounding is setting up the electrics of your house without grounding it. Somebody's going to have something negative happen to them if they're not grounded. So let's look at this from an energy perspective. From an energy perspective, folks. So when we give energy, now, depending which system you use, now we talked that most energy systems, you are a channel. You're a channel. You're bringing energy through you and helping someone else. Simultaneously, here's the win with energy, is that you get energy when you give it through that method. Now, we talked about alternative healing methods like vortex healing, where you create a vortex from within you and channel the energy out. But either way, having a grounding cord is a good thing. And here's why. Here's just a few reasons. Now, this is not by any lengths going to be a comprehensive list, but these are the important ones and why I think you need to ground. It's not just me, folks. This is any energy system. Anyone that's not telling you to ground is not a proper energy practitioner, or they are an advanced master or transcendental being that is so grounded or connected or omnipresent that they don't need to ground. But for mere mortals like me and you, folks, you need to ground. You need to ground. So let's look at why. So it's the same with the energy of a house. What the grounding cord does is it means that if the energy is going to go out, there's a safe route for it to ground. It goes into the ground rather than through your body when you touch a cable. It goes through the ground. And it's the same when you're working with energy. By connecting yourself with the ground, you are setting up a channel that anything that comes through you that isn't in alignment, that doesn't feel right, that is slightly negative or could affect you or the person you're working with adversely, you've opened a channel for it to go through. So grounding your energy, what you're doing, you're increasing your connection with the ground. So rather than just little old you, it's you and the ground, folks. You and the ground. So things that are very good for grounding are walking around in the garden or the beach in barefoot, folks. That's a real connection to the ground. That's grounding. That's grounding the non-woo-woo method, folks. Now, when I talk about grounding, energy follows thought. So I will tell you the method that I use, which is I imagine a ball of energy at the center of the earth connecting to the base of my spine. I may sometimes envisage that coming up through my legs as part of the process, but it doesn't matter as long as I'm connected to the ground. It's that simple. It's as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. Now, I know there's lots of different methods of grounding. Some people like to see roots or visualize roots coming out of their feet. That's another method. And there's no right or wrong, folks. It's a simple intention to connect you with the earth. That's it. You're earthing yourself. And that's why grounding is important. Now let's look at other things that it can aid. It can actually help you with your healing process. So if you've got any negative energy on, opening up your grounding cord can help to ground it. And it really is, from an energy perspective, a problem shared is a problem halved. What you're doing with your own energy by grounding yourself is sharing your shit with the ground or sharing your goods. If you're in a high energy place, you're connecting that. You're contributing positively to the earth. And the earth is absorbing all the energy of humanity. And let's face it, folks, if you're following what humanity's up to at the moment, there's some serious shit out there. There's some really negative vibes. And not only that, people are addicted to negativity. The news is addicted to negativity. We're all addicted to negativity. And there's even a phenomenon called the negativity bias, which I've talked about on this channel, which is a researched methodology. It's a researched phenomenon that shows that human beings react with 3 times more energy to negatives than positives, which means, especially in the UK, folks, we're not so good at taking compliments, but we're brilliant at reacting to stuff where we think somebody's taking a piss. Very good at reacting to that. Very irascible, very energized when people piss you off, folks. But people say you're doing a good job. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're wonderful. Oh, you're doing a fantastic job. That is just water off a duck's back. Yeah, 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 yeah. That is a very UK thing, folks. And I'm sure people all over the world do it, but I notice it's way more pronounced in the UK. It's almost like a default setting. We don't do compliments. Hugging, not so much. Like, I love when I meet people to shake their hand or give them a hug because it confuses the hell out of them most of the time. It's not always a good idea, folks. You have to read the situation, but I like to mix it up. And that's an energy thing as well, how you show up. So let's talk about energy. How you walk into a room makes a difference. How I started this video, you'll notice when I start the video is, welcome back, my Jedi friends. It's generally done with a higher energy than is my default. And the reason I do that is because people that don't know me, if I'm talking about energy, it's a good idea to project some good energy, folks. Now, does that mean that I'm like this 24/7? No, I'm not, folks. No, I'm not. My normal communication would be more like this. This would be more my default energy when I'm showing up, when I'm living my life, when I'm coming across one-on-one outside of YouTube. So what you'll notice is a subtle distinction to how I show up on these videos. So that is just because I'm talking about energy. So I better be energized. So that's me in alignment with the energy on here. But you know, folks, you know the people who are low energy because they usually take forever to get to the point. They have got this slow drawl and they sort of show up. You just know by the way that they're communicating that something's not wrong. And that's an example of a much lower energy space. And this is why I like to highlight these things, folks, because you do not need to be trained in the world of energy to understand what energy is. You know that some people energize you, and you know that some people bring you down. They bring you down, and they may not do it deliberately, but their default setting energetically is a lot lower than everybody else's. A lot lower, folks. So there you go. There's just the basics of grounding. And it definitely it is a good move. It should be a default setting, and I know I use it a lot. And hopefully, this video has explained a little bit more about exactly what grounding is. It is simply, it is you in your mind because energy follows thoughts, making a conscious connection with the earth. And that's it, folks. If you take your shoes and socks off and go in the garden, you make a physical connection with the earth, and it's that simple. So there you go, my Jedi friends. You will get grounded because the more often you do it, the better you'll feel. And it's a good idea with all interventions. So there you go. Get grounded, have fun, stay connected, my Jedi friends, and energize yourself from the ground up.